You may have noticed, but married couples spend a lot of time arguing about what they think they need from their spouse in the relationship. Now, if I were to ask some of you, what do you need in a relationship? It'd be a real simple list. Man, I just need some respect and sex. Others of you would give me this long laundry list of all the things you need in a relationship. And every marriage is a little different because every person's unique and they have different desires and wants. But I believe that a lot of the things that we say we need in marriage, we don't actually need. They're just some stuff we desire. And so in this video, I want to talk about 5 things that I believe every marriage needs, regardless of who you are, regardless of if you're aware or not aware of these things. So I want to talk about 5 things every marriage absolutely needs. That's today on Relationshots. Hey, welcome to Relationshots. My name's Eric Wooten. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the place to get practical relationship advice that actually works in your relationship. Yes, that's what we need it to work. Not just good ideas. We need stuff that actually works. If you've not already done so, go ahead and click the subscribe button and the bell notification. If you want a free guide to intimacy, you can see the link down below to download that. If you need a place, an environment, a community to strengthen and build your relationship, join our membership. That's where all the great fun stuff is happening with other couples who are like-minded trying to do what you're doing. You can see the link below and I know that this is the Christmas season and I know it can be tough to find gifts, so I want to help you out. If you're looking for a no-fail, absolutely perfect, completely cannot miss gift for you and your spouse, join our masterclass starting January 12th. We got a 6-week live Zoom masterclass. We're running it back again this year. Minimum or maximum of 20 couples. We limited it to 20 couples so we can have an awesome environment, some large group teaching time, some small group discussion. It'd be awesome for your marriage. And hey, in the spirit of Christmas, I'm gonna give you 20% off. You can use the code Christmas20 to get 20% off. If you register right away before it fills up. You can see the link for that masterclass below as well. All right, let's talk about 5 things that every marriage needs. I don't need to slow play this. I don't need to ease on into this. We're just going to go right into it. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to evaluate your own marriage in these 5 areas. And if you feel like you're good in the area, boom, check the box. Awesome, you're doing great in that area. If you feel like you might be struggling in this area, cool. Then come up with maybe 1 to 2 action points that you can begin working on to make this an area of strength rather than an area of growth in your relationship. So here we go. 5 things I think every marriage absolutely needs to have in order to be healthy. Number 1 is security, right? We need to know without a shadow of a doubt that our spouse is going nowhere. That's why God's design is a lifelong covenant, so that the 2 people don't have to worry about, well, are they going to be here? Are they not going to be here? How do I plan for if they're not here? And what if I don't do quite enough? Then they might not be here. And that is an impossible way to live in a relationship. We need to know without a shadow of a doubt that our spouse is not going anywhere. They are going to be here until death do us part. The vows that many of us made, we need to really believe that we're actually going to walk those things out. I need to know my spouse is going to be there, even when I'm in seasons where I'm not my best, even when I'm in seasons where I fail and I fall short, even when I'm in seasons where I'm growing and changing and maybe God's working on me in my life and so I'm struggling a bit. I need to know in those seasons that my relationship is secure, my spouse is not going anywhere, that they do have my back. That's why couples who often threaten divorce, who either emotionally or physically withdraw from the other person or abandon the other person in moments of conflict, are undermining the health of the relationship because they're removing the security that the other person may have. So a relationship that's going to grow and thrive absolutely must have security. Number 2, I think every marriage absolutely has to have acceptance. You need to know that your spouse accepts you for who you are, not simply for what you do or what you bring to the table, right? Acceptance needs to be, I'm accepting you as you are. I'm not accepting you if fill in the blank, or only as long as you fill in the blank, because then that turns the relationship into a performance-based relationship, and then you never know if you've done enough to be in their good graces, and if you don't do enough, will they still stay with you? And then you just keep going and going and going, and at the end of the day, if it turns into being performance-based and you don't feel fully accepted, guess what? You're not going to fully show who you are. And some of you are head nodding right now because you don't feel accepted by your spouse, and many of you are head nodding right now because there's nobody in your life that you actually have revealed the deepest, darkest parts of who you are, because you fear if they really know who you are, they will not accept you. And you cannot have a marriage that is healthy and thriving unless there is unconditional, total acceptance of you as a person. That doesn't mean you just have to put up with all their behaviors and, oh, I can't challenge them on anything. No. If you've watched any of my videos, you know that we have to be responsible for each other. We have to be accountable to each other. But I'm saying at the foundation, there needs to be full acceptance of who you are. I fully accept you. Now, there's some areas that need to change in your life, but I fully accept who you are. If you want a relationship that's going to thrive, you have to be able to be your true, authentic, naked, unashamed self in the relationship, or it's not going to grow. So we need security and we need acceptance. And number 3, we need emotional connection. To which all the women say, amen, and all the men say, ah, crap. Listen, the reality is that most women are a little better wired for emotional connection than men. That's an area most men struggle in. But listen, you don't have to have natural gifting there. You can learn how to emotionally connect. But the key for secure attachment and good bonds in relationship is an emotional connection. It can't simply be a physical connection. It can't simply be only a friendship, although those are both important for a marriage, but you do need some level of emotional connection. And if you don't know how to connect emotionally, it's okay. You can begin to work on that. You can prioritize it. You can be intentional. This is a skill that you can grow in. At the very least, if you do not feel emotionally connected in your relationship, then this week, here's what I'd suggest. Maybe every night, or just pick a couple nights. And at the end of the night, you and your spouse take 10 to 15 minutes, and all you need to do is just share your high and low for the day. Here was my high today, and here was my low today. My high was I got complimented, or I got a promotion, or I got a raise. My low was one of my biggest clients, told me they were leaving me, or I did this sales pitch and they didn't bite on it, or whatever it might be. Maybe I had a rough day with the kids. Maybe I had a rough day with a friend. Maybe a friend called at the right time and encouraged me. But just being conscious of the fact that tonight I need to share my high and low will make me more emotionally aware of how my day is. Otherwise, if you ask me on any given day, hey, what was your high and low, Eric? I'll be like, I don't know. I'm just pretty steady. I don't have real highs or real lows. I'm kind of steady Eddie here. But if you tell me to think about my high and low, now I'm a little more aware of how did I feel when that happened, or how did I feel when this happened. Not only does it allow me to touch my own emotions a little better, but now I can share that with my spouse. So just try a high and low for the day. Maybe that can be part of the routine that you put into your week. Every night before we go to bed, just take 10 minutes, share a high and low, and that will begin to increase our emotional connection. Number 4 is equality and mutual respect. A romantic relationship needs equality and mutual respect. If one person does not respect the other person, they're going to tend to dominate them. So if you have one person that may be more dominant and another person may be more submissive, you're probably not going to see equality and mutual respect in that relationship. It's hard to respect somebody that you can roll over anytime you want to. And it's hard to respect somebody who likes to dominate you, who always wants to be in control, who always wants their way or the highway. It's real hard to have that. And so listen, the reality is every marriage, every person has unique differences. And part of equality and mutual respect is saying, listen, I may not understand your differences. I may not even like those differences on a surface level, but I'm going to value your differences. I'm going to give respect to how you're wired, to how you think, to how you have perspectives. And so when we value the other person's opinions, the other person's thoughts, their ideas, their perspectives, we are exhibiting mutual respect in that relationship. If you don't have that, it's going to be hard to have a healthy relationship when it's lopsided. And I've done videos on income inequality and other things like that, and personal responsibility and who has more capacity in the relationship. But at the end of the day, a healthy marriage is built on equality and mutual respect. I don't care what your biblical stance is on complementarianism or egalitarianism. You still need to mutually respect one another. And if we want to go biblical, Paul says in Ephesians 5:21, you need to submit one to another. So there's mutual submission, even in a complementarian perspective on relationship. We need equality and mutual respect in order to have a healthy relationship. And number 5, I think every marriage needs physical touch. Now, even if you're not affectionate and naturally like to be affectionate, humans still need physical touch. And you know what? A lot of things we've mentioned, security, acceptance, emotional connection, all of those things are also expressed through physical touch. We can communicate a lot of those other areas through physical touch. We need times of non-sexual physical touch in a relationship. Maybe hugs, maybe touching shoulders, maybe holding hands, maybe a hand on the leg in the car, but we all need to be touched. And scientifically, when we touch others, dopamine's released. We like the other person better. So there's lots of scientific support for why we should be touching each other. But not only non-sexual, the sexual relationship is important for a marriage as well. I mean, the Bible even says that husbands and wives shouldn't deprive each other sexually, except for entering into a time of prayer and fasting or whatever it might be. So don't be telling me, well, I'm in a 20-year prayer cycle, so we're just remaining celibate. Listen, so the sexual relationship is important. That's part of what God says, that the two become one. Part of that is through the sexual relationship, but every relationship needs at least some level of physical touch. And it's likely that you and your spouse have different levels of what kind of affection and how much affection you like, but we can all learn to be a little bit more affectionate and exhibit a little bit more physical touch in the relationship. Every marriage needs at least some level of physical touch. So there's 5 things I believe every marriage needs. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comment section below. Maybe you can list a few other things that you think are also needs in a marriage. Now, don't talk to me about just your sideways, sideline preferences. We're talking about things that marriages actually need in order to be healthy and thrive. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the comment section below. Don't forget, our marriage masterclass is coming up in just over, maybe less than a month at this point. You can use the code Christmas20 to get 20% off. If you sign up for that, you'll see the description. In the description area below, you'll see the link for that. Our membership is open as well if you want to be a part of a community of couples building and strengthening their marriage. And until next time, I'll see you right back here on Relation Shots.